Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and I want to give you a super quick tip on what I do with some of my giant hydrangea flower heads right before a storm comes in. So if I notice that I've got some super droopy giant flower heads like on this Annabelle hydrangea row, and I know that there's a super big storm coming in like we have right now. We have major thunderstorms rolling in. It's actually raining on me right now. What I'll do is I will just prop up some of the droopier, heavier ones, and I'll try to kind of mix them into like the middle of like the actual shrub, the bush, because there's a lot of like old wood stems here, some of them from last year, that I leave in place. So I usually don't prune back these hydrangeas because I like to have that network of that old wood to kind of prop them up, because if I don't, a lot of times those stems will crack. So just a super quick tip from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm. Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and I wanted to show you a super fast growing hydrangea that I have. So this hydrangea is called Incredible. It's from Proven Winners, and I planted these probably about 10 months ago. So they were only about this small when I put them in the ground, and here it is not even a year later, and they tripled in size. They have beautiful blooms, which is unusual for a hydrangea because usually it takes the plant about a year or two to get established to give any blooms. And all of these bushes are just bursting with these big, gorgeous, lovely blooms. So Incredible is famous because it has sturdier stems to hold up these giant floral heads than the Annabelle hydrangea. So this is the ones that we're kind of used to seeing. And I do love Annabelle. They're super beautiful, but I have to say a lot of times these stems will flop to the ground because they're not as sturdy as the Incredible. So that's my super fast growing hydrangea for you guys. And today I want to give you a quick tip on how to change your mop head hydrangeas from pink to blue or blue to pink. So you're going to think about what the pH of the soil is. So if you have a more acidic pH, you're going to have blue flowers, and to get those you can either add coffee grounds or you can add a soil acidifier that you can find in your local garden centers. If you're looking for a pink bloom, you're going to want that pH to be more alkaline, and to do that you can either add some eggshells to the soil, or you can add some wood ash from your fireplace, or you can add some lime from your local garden center. But I made a whole video on my Kelly Lehman YouTube channel showing you exactly how to do this, and I hope to see you over there. Today I want to give you a hydrangea quick tip about when your hydrangeas are drooping like this. So this is what my endless summer hydrangeas look like. It's midday, it's about, I don't know, like 85 degrees right now, and they look kind of droopy, and it almost looks like it needs water, but I know that I watered this hydrangea at the root early morning today. So what it's actually doing is something called flagging. And that means that it's just a little exhausted, it has a lot of heat on it, and what's going to happen is later on this afternoon, it's going to poof back up when temperatures cool off. So I'm not going to water it right now because otherwise I would overwater the plant and that would cause a whole bunch of issues. So wait to see if your hydrangeas poof back up by the end of the day before you add that extra water, because you don't want to drown your hydrangeas. Have a great day, Flower Tribe. So I'm out here in front of my Annabelle hydrangea row. It is July in my New Jersey secret garden, and I want to let you know that it's important, if you can, to find a spot for your hydrangeas, especially your mop head hydrangeas and your smooth hydrangeas like these guys, that has a little bit of afternoon shade. Because if these guys are planted in full sun, I find that they start to get a little bit burned up towards like the end of summer, unless you really keep up with the watering. So some people do have them planted in full sun and they have some good results, but I find that some afternoon shade, if you can find a spot that has like a little tree over it, is very, very helpful. So it gets that morning sun and afternoon shade. I'm here with Lucy, and we want to give you a quick hydrangea tip tonight. I want to tell you about some of these spots that are on your hydrangea leaves. A lot of times they're caused when you overhead water the plant later in the day. So a way to avoid that is to water your hydrangea at the base of the plant, and you're going to do that in the morning, because sometimes when temperatures cool off and those leaves are wet at night, they start to develop those brown spots. So they don't really harm the plant. It's not really, you know, like a crazy situation, but it's better for the plant if you will water them at the base in the morning. So I make sure that I water my hydrangeas at the base of the plant in the morning. So you want to do this because you don't want to do overhead watering, especially late in the afternoon, because a lot of times what happens is that if you have a lot of water on these leaves in late afternoon, they don't get a chance to dry. They sometimes get some fungal issues when they go into the nighttime and it gets a little bit cooler out, and then all of a sudden you start seeing all sorts of like black spot issues and some funguses. So your best plan of action is to water your hydrangeas at the base of the plant, and I like to do that early morning. And if you want to see if your hydrangeas need water, just feel at the base of the plant, put your knuckle in the soil, and if you go down about an inch or two and the soil is moist, I would leave it alone, but if it feels dry, give it a good deep root watering. I'm here to tell you about a super easy hydrangea to grow. So this is called Limelight hydrangea. This hydrangea is hardy in zones 3 through 8, so it tolerates heat really well. It also is very cold hardy. So the blooms come in on what's known as new growth, so you don't have to worry about those blooms being frozen off if you have a cold snap in the spring. And they are just so easy to take care of. Once this plant is established, it is really easy to maintain. I have it back here at the end of my pasture row, and I barely even come out here to water it. So once it was established in the ground, I kept up with the watering for like the first year or two, and after that I have to say I literally neglect this gorgeous hydrangea, and it comes back with beautiful blooms every year. I don't fertilize it, it's happy where it is, so I leave it alone, and I have these beautiful blooms. I don't even prune this hydrangea back, and this is what it looks like in July. I'm here with hydrangea quick tip number 10. So I want to show you some of the hydrangeas that we use in our arrangements and how I kind of pair them with other flowers. So this is an endless summer blue hydrangea. Then we've got an Annabelle hydrangea that's in like a semi-dried green form. This is what it looks like towards the end of summer here in my New Jersey Planting Hardiness Zone 6 garden. And then we just paired it with some beautiful flowers like these gorgeous sunflowers. And we've got all different varieties of sunflowers. This is bicolor. This one I think is either Moulin Rouge or chocolate. And then we also have some beautiful cosmos. And then we've got some lovely celosia. And this is just one of the lovely pairings that we did with this year's hydrangeas.